there's a bunch of people who've bought into that idea.
Yeah.
They bought into the idea that we're doing this for a bigger purpose, and they're willing to run through walls. And then there's a bunch of people who are sitting on the sidelines. And when you're sitting on the sidelines at 5-star, you get exposed quickly. But we need people who want to be here, who want to drive for this mission, who want to drive for a profit on purpose, and who see the why behind what we're doing.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Jared with the marketing team, and we are here with a special guest. We do this every single month. We're here with Christian, our beloved CEO, and we're here to go over July's recap. Company update. We have some really fun questions. Christian, how are you?
I'm doing well, Jared. How are you?
Doing well.
I appreciate that we've been doing this now for like 6 or 8 months, and you still hype me up in the intro. I feel like one of these times you should just come in and just be like, all right, we're here with Christian again.
Just a cold open.
Right.
Like okay, July.
I feel like 30% of the people, when you intro me like that, they go, I don't know about beloved.
Oh. Keep that one to yourself, folks.
No, don't.
Christian, are you familiar with the term dog days of summer?
I've heard it, yes.
I've been seeing it around.
Makes me think of the movie The Sandlot.
I love The Sandlot with what was the dog's name in The Sandlot?
Oh yeah. Beast?
The Beast, yes. Yeah, Sandlot's definitely one of my favorite movies. Very classic.
Mm-hmm. You're killing me, Smalls.
Killing me, Smalls. Killing me, Smalls. Well, going along the theme of dog days of summer, we've had a special friend in the office, a new hire, by the way, and his name is Bo. And if you aren't familiar, Bo is Christian's dog.
One of them.
One of them.
He's the only office-friendly dog.
Really?
Yeah, well, the other one has maybe severe autism. We're not sure. And the other, Bernie's, and then we have a pug who's not really a dog. She's more like an alien.
Oh, so. Okay. And so Bo is a Bernese?
He's a Bernese mountain dog.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people call him a Burmese mountain dog, but he's actually from the Bern region of Switzerland, the Swiss Alps.
Okay.
That's where Bernese mountain dogs are from.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So what's the specific reason why you went with that breed when you were looking for a dog?
I had a golden retriever growing up. Okay. And then I had other labs and retrievers like earlier in my adult life. And when I was living in San Francisco, but was, I had met Amy and I knew I was eventually going to move to Ohio. We talked about dogs and I knew I wanted to get a dog out here, especially I always wanted to have a dog in San Francisco. It's just very challenging.
Sure.
And so when we got here, she actually was like thinking hypoallergenic and very popular nowadays to get the doodle, some version of a doodle. And, I'm not a fan of, no offense. I just don't like poodles. I'm very high strung.
Comments are going nuts right now.
Do it.
The doodle fan.
It's fine. It's just, you take a dog like a Bernese mountain dog and breed it with a poodle, it completely changes their temperament.
Yeah.
Poodles are high strung, very intelligent, but because they're so smart, they're often have a lot of anxiety, and that anxiety often comes out in aggression, in my opinion. And so Bernese mountain dogs are the best. Okay. They're the greatest dog. I've always been in love with them. They have incredible temperaments. They're huge. Bo's actually a small Bernese mountain dog, and he weighs about 110 pounds. And but they're just gentle giants. They're incredible around kids. They're incredible around other dogs. And they literally just want to be around human beings. That's their job. They just want to be around people all the time.
Which makes Bo a perfect office dog.
He's a great office dog.
Christian, how long have you had Bo?
He is 6.
Okay.
So I've had him since he was 8 weeks old.
Okay. And it was just, 6 years ago, you're like, hey, we want to add another.
Well, he was our first.
Oh, okay.
He was our first for our family.
Okay.
And we only had a dog a year for 3 years. And so now we have 3 and we're getting a 4th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What dog are you getting next round?
Miniature Dachshund.
Okay.
Named Frank.
Frank, you've already named the dog before even getting the dog.
Yeah, because it's a Frankfurter.
Okay.
Hot dog.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm just thinking of all the Halloween costume opportunities. Yes. It's endless.
Bo, Hank, Winnie, and Frank.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good. So, talking about Bo, so I met him. He has such a great personality.
Yes.
And we actually did hire Bo at 5-Star Home Services, which would be ridiculous, but not out of the ordinary of our organization either, because we love dogs. What role and department would Bo work at?
I feel like because of Bo's love for humans, he would be in HR. And I think he would be the chief people officer is what I've decided.
The chief people officer.
Because he's like, he lights up the room.
Yeah.
He's also like, I've shared this story with a few folks. As Bo walks around, he goes up to everybody and just leans on them and just wants a little bit of love. And I have only met a few people in the building who aren't big fans of dogs. Most people are really welcoming. And listen, if you're not a fan of dogs, cool. I'm not judging that part. But like, there's only one person he's ever walked up to and had a second thought about and turned around and went the other way. And that person quickly left the organization. So I actually feel like we could bring him into interviews and he could very quickly suss out whether or not would be a good fit, But for the most part, he goes up to every single person and just tail wagging happy. He's just happy to be here. And he is so Bernie's Mountain Dogs, I think, because they have so much love to give, they don't live that long. So their lifespans are only about 6 to 8 years.
Wow.
So Bo is considered like an old dog, which is crazy. He's only 6.
I would never guess it too with his energy.
But if you saw him when he was 2, he's a completely different dog now.
Wow.
And his hip, you can already see is starting to pick his hip. They're so big. And that's why we intentionally keep them very lean to try to just elongate their life for as long. We're getting welcome to Dog Talk.
Dog Talk 101 with Christian Rattin. New podcast went off.
But yeah, that was always one of the things is like, do we get this dog knowing that he's probably not going to live that long and we're going to have this heartache at some point, you know? But he has been such an incredible addition to our family. And he's my dog. Hank is Bo's dog. And then Winnie is attached to my wife. And so it's like, he is my dog. He follows me everywhere I go. And I love him so much.
So Christian, we're here to talk about July. And July was a really exciting month for the company. I think culturally with events that we've had, but also business-wise as well. So could you speak on any kind of standout wins or surprises or even areas we may need to improve?
I actually think the theme for July was about how we didn't have a lot of surprises. It makes me think of a Radiohead song like No Alarms and No Surprises. But, often historically at 5-star, we've had a very shoot, ready, aim type mentality. And, it feels like we're just kind of like not really knowing our targets and not really knowing what we need to do to get there. And a lot of times we succeed, but we look back and we're not even sure how did that happen, or everything is a fire all the time. And, ask Justin McClintock, he has a great wig for running around with like your hair's on fire. And I think what's crazy about July is that we actually had a very specific target. We knew exactly what we needed to do to get there. We did all those things and we got there. So in a funny way, it was kind of boring. And maybe that's a good thing. It felt calm, even though we did, more revenue than we did last year in July with less people. But it never felt chaos. It never felt like it was chaotic or that chaos was owning the building. There's times, anytime it's going to be super hot or super rainy, things are going to go crazy. But I think what stood out to me as I thought back over the month was, people went on vacation and everything ran. We had celebrations and everything ran. We had ups and downs. We had challenges in marketing and the call center, but we overcame them quickly and everything continued to go. So I think just the calmness with which the business is operating is really fun to watch.
So what can we kind of equate to that calmness? Any specific processes or systems? I know we have new people in new roles as well and new people in different leadership roles.
I think a lot of it is the prep work that we've been doing all year, and even into last year. We get together on a very regular basis and we talk about the budget. We talk about what we need to do to get there. We talk about all the different things. And then I think finally, our continued unrelenting focus on profit on purpose and the why behind what we do. I was sharing this with somebody earlier. If a desire to be great every single day and a desire to be better than we were yesterday and a desire to make more money so we can go serve more people in our community makes me a bad guy, then I'm Leroy Brown.
Yeah.
A man named Leroy Brown.
Leroy Brown.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And I think what has separated 5-star is there's a bunch of people who've bought into that idea.
Yeah.
They bought into the idea that we're doing this for a bigger purpose. and they're willing to run through walls. And then there's a bunch of people who are sitting on the sidelines, and when you're sitting on the sidelines at 5-star, you get exposed quickly, and we remove you. And not to say you were a bad person in any stretch, but we need people who want to be here, who want to drive for this mission, who want to drive for a profit on purpose, and who see the why behind what we're doing. And we've done an incredible job as a result. You saw in the quarterly meetings, like, we've really exited a lot of our C players and elevated a lot of our B players into A potentials and A's. And we're going to continue to drive that. And as we do, we're going to continue to see elevation. And I think you're going to continue to see elevation at a calm. I mean, when I get up in the morning, I don't think of going out and serving 5-star. I think about serving God.
Amen.
What does that look like in practical terms, right? It's like, okay, well, God gave me talent, just like he gave everybody who's listening or watching this podcast. We've all been given talent, and we have the opportunity and the choice to use that talent to try to align ourselves with what we believe God's will is for us, and maximize that opportunity to steward the provisions that we've been given. I believe that God allows us to use this business to forward his word, and to use it as a ministry, to use it as a function of spreading God's love to every person. And we can do that through direct workplace ministry with our employees, but we can also do it with the profits that we make. And by giving back. Last week, we donated over $100,000 to charities and nonprofits.
That's worth. Yeah.
So, I mean, amazing. And those are all things that just popped up. I met a gentleman who bootstrapped a recovery house here in Columbus, and met him. He has been doing work with us for months. And I didn't know that. He reached out, asked if he could meet me, and I said yes. And I got a chance to meet him, and he told me this story, and I said, man, what an incredible thing that you just, like, on faith, right? No plan, really, just a belief, and a belief that he's driven by this purpose. And I said, okay, everything we've done for you at this point, we're going to give you all the money back, and you can use that money to go do something else.
Yeah.
And so, and then we were able to also honor some other charities and some people. And that's as a result of the work that our folks go out and do every single day. And that's the why,
Yeah. When our company gives the space needed for God to truly work in our communities and our customers' lives and our lives are as well. I mean, Jesus says that, his yoke is easy and his burden is light. So, God takes on that burden for us, which, creates a calmness, a tranquility, a peace in our lives.
Yeah.
So we're heading into the tail end of summer, and it's still hot. It's hot right now in this warehouse.
Yeah.
And I think when we look at, like, the weather, for example, I mean, summer goes for quite, some time
hence the dog days.
So we're heading into kind of the tail end.
We're right in the heart of corn humidity. Have you heard about this?
No, corn. What's corn humidity?
The corn, like, holds the humidity down as it grows. It, like, does something in the atmosphere and forces more humidity into the Midwest.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's all over the internet right now. It's like all over socials, and Ohio's really like, it's the most Ohio thing. I'm like, I don't know. I think the Cornhusker state might have something to say about that.
Yeah, exactly. So what should our team be focused on as we go into August?
Mm-hmm.
What are some advice that you would like to share to the team? Some words of encouragement.
Sure. I think it's mindset. I think it's focusing on having the right mindset every single day. And I think that means two things. I think it means when you get up in the morning, you gotta be able to get yourself going and understand that it's a grind. And we are in the third quarter of the Super Bowl, and you have to rely on the training and the practice that you did back in April. A year ago, you have to rely on the training you did, back in summer camp, right? I mean, and then I think also we have to find a way to cultivate empathy every single day and realize that as people in an industry who are experts in this industry, we also have to forget about our expertise when we walk into a home and we're faced with a homeowner who has 2 children and a job and a husband who's out at the office, and they're dealing with this issue that they have no idea about. They don't understand it. It makes them feel unsafe that something is not working in their home. And when we walk in and we have the attitude that we've seen this 1,000 times in the last 3 months, that doesn't make me feel great as a homeowner. I don't want to just feel like another check mark for you. Sure. I want to feel like this situation matters. And the encouragement that I would give to our people is to slow down and to become extremely curious about the person in front of you. And genuinely curious. Like, why did they call us? What is going on in their home? What can we do to make them feel more safe in their home? What issues are they experiencing that we might be able to solve either with our vertical or maybe with something we don't even do, but maybe we have a connection to, just through our industry knowledge. And I would just really encourage our people to rely on the fact that while you are an expert as a technician or an installer, the person you're speaking to in the home is not. And to have a respect and an empathy for them, to at least come at them with the care and compassion that you would want somebody to treat your family member if they were in that same situation.
So, Christian, are you seeing any shifts in customer demand or behavior this summer versus other seasons?
Yeah, I think one thing that's been really interesting, this one just came up. It's come up a few times here in the last month, and I think it's super interesting because it's something we talk about internally a lot. And honestly, I probably should have anticipated a little faster, and that's my fault for not, is customers using AI. So customers having their ChatGPT up with the technician across and literally taking pictures of the estimate, feeding it in, asking them, what are we doing? Does it make sense? Asking, is 5-star? Comparing 3 companies using ChatGPT or another format of AI and saying, like, should I go with 5-star or should I go with this other company? And so been actually having some conversations with some of our more forward-thinking technicians who are bumping into this, who want to learn how to overcome it, and recognizing that this technology is great. We don't need to be mad at it. We don't need to shy away from it. We can actually use it to our advantage if we get on board. So if we learn it and we can use it, and then if we become experts as much as we can with that type of technology, I can say to you as a homeowner, I can say, well, I use ChatGPT and AI all the time as well. And so if you use it and I use it, we both know it's great, but it has limitations too.
Yeah.
I'm the expert in your home. Let me show you how we're actually going to get you. I'll make sure that by the end of this process, you're going to feel great about what ChatGPT is telling you and what I'm telling you. And I have no doubt we're going to find a path forward. It's the people who are going to go on the defensive and get angry that you're even considering ChatGPT as an option that are going to get shut out of this process.
Back in early May, we did our influencer event.
Yeah.
And it was such a fun time, a huge success. And one of the things that stood out to me at that event was specifically a couple that attended. They were not partners with us at the time. They just got the invite from us and they were like, hey, this sounds really interesting. I want to network and see what 5-star is all about. And it was Jeremy and Rebecca. Columbus knows the duo as That Sandwich Dude, which is the Instagram account. So they came as just curious about what we do, what this event is all about. And fast forward to even up to a few weeks ago, we were working on a marketing campaign for our water conditioning content, the Dapper Drinker. And Eric in marketing was thinking, like, who could play the Dapper Drinker? And rest assured, Jeremy popped in our mind and we got him for our video, and also his wife, Rebecca. And that led to a collaboration between Christian and That Sandwich Dude. So, Christian, what was your experience working with him? And I think you guys went to Wario's too.
Yeah. So actually at the event, we did that breakout where we made flatbread pizzas, and I was on Jeremy's team and Amy was on Rebecca's team. So we had actually gotten to know them through the event. And I told Amy as soon as we left, I said, oh, they were super cool. Like, even outside of all this, I would hang out with them. And so they came up with the idea for the video that we did at Wario's, which was the idea of, like, the U2, like, okay, you too. And then I'm like, wait, he's me too. And so that was a fun video. And then that led to the appearance on NBC4's Daytime Columbus.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't watched our segment, we'll link it in the description. But that was a really cool experience to see you on Daytime Columbus representing our company, discussing our influencer marketing technique and tactic too, which even the person interviewing was like really impressed about that. It was such like a unique perspective for a home service company that I feel like she's never even heard before. And so what was your experience on television? Is this your first time being on the news?
No, I've done other live so I've done some stuff for Emerge.
Okay.
And in previous life things, I've done some stuff, but I feel pretty comfortable in front of the camera. I was told by Shara that I'm not allowed to have swivel chairs anymore because she said I swiveled too much. In my defense, like they were at odd angles and I had to swivel to see him.
Yeah.
And it felt awkward to not look at him when he was talking, And it's because that's always the thing is like, they tell you specifically, do not look at the camera, which I love breaking that rule. And I did 100%.
The fourth law.
I love it. I'll tell you a funny story. So if there's any sports fans out there, they know the name Joe Buck. So do you know who Joe Buck is? Okay.
Yes.
So just in case you don't, Joe Buck is a play-by-play announcer for Fox. He's always does the biggest events. He's one of the most professional. And he does this thing where he'll, I know these aren't real, so I can do this.
Secrets out.
Yeah, the secret's out. He'll go. All right, here we are for Game 3 of the World Series. Jared, we get the Yankees and the Red Sox here. That wouldn't actually happen. They're both in the American League. I should have said the Yankees and the Mets. I'm like fact checking myself. Jared, the Mets have had an incredible hitting streak here lately. What do you see from them in this game? And then you'll start talking, right? And then he'll do this. He'll go. He'll listen to you for a second. They'll go. And then he turns back. And he does it every single time. Directly into the camera. Gives a head nod. And I am convinced that this is like something that like him and his wife or one of his children or somebody, like he is saying hello to a specific person.
Yeah.
And I've always caught it.
It's an inside joke, maybe.
Something, and I just love it. I call it the Joe Buck.
The Joe.
And so I told Cher, I said, I'm going to Joe Buck this interview. I will do it. I do it every time. And the last time I did a thing for Emerge, a couple of people called me after and they were like, you kept staring into the camera. It felt like you were looking into my soul. And I said, that's the point. I want to look directly in.
Side note, Christian's Joe Buck impression reminded me of like a decent Norm Macdonald.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
I take that.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. So Christian, how are these influencer partnerships helping us connect with customers in a new way and also just the community of Columbus, Dayton, and Cincinnati?
Let me get my absolutely real microphone closer to you again.
Secrets out.
So I think I've talked about that before. So back to what we were talking about a second ago with AI, one of the things AI looks for is how much are you talked about online. So it's helping us because a ton of people are talking about us. But the reality is that, whether you like it or not, influencers are the new experts of our communities. And, if you are interested in finding an event and finding out where to go, what's the hot new restaurant, what's the thing to do with your kids, where's the free events, what am I doing? What am I getting up to this weekend? That's the hyper-local version. Obviously, the larger version would be, if you play sports or you have a hobby, you probably follow people who also do and are influencing you to look at certain products or use certain techniques. I mean, listen, it doesn't matter. Golf, fishing, shopping, it doesn't matter. Like we trust these folks and it's just where we're going. And I think it's just we're adopting a mindset and a belief that if these people, and the reality is I do not want to do a single influencer where we simply hand them a bunch of money and then we walk away and then they talk good about us. First, we have to earn their respect and their trust. So we're going to go into their house and we're going to perform service for them. And then if we do a good job and they say, I want to work with you, we will do it. But this is all about living with integrity. And this is not just about paying somebody to get them to talk nice about us. So every single influencer, we've been to their house, we've done work for them, and they truly want to talk about us because we do it right and they love who we are as an organization. And one of the things they love is they love our mission and they love how much our employees buy into the mission. So if you're an employee and you're bought into the mission, people want to hear you talk about that. They want to know why you work here. It's important.
You just had such a great point with earning the trust and respect of these influencers that are now partnering with us for content, because I see how they talk about our brand and they're on the team.
You can't fake it.
You can't fake it. They're proud to be on the team. I'll see Megan and Jordan just reshare stories or just even reference us.
I just want to shout out too, because this all started 2.5 years ago with an idea that I had that we could do this. And the first person we reached out to was Jordan, which is Midwest Food Fest. She's our OG. She's our ride or die. She's been incredible to work with. And we don't have Jeremy and Rebecca without Jordan.
Sure.
Jeremy and Rebecca are friends with Jordan, and Jordan brought them. Jordan and I had dinner a couple weeks ago, and she has just been such an incredible partner to open us up into this community of people. And so I just want to give her a special shout out, because without her, we aren't sitting here. And here's what I love about that story. We called Jordan and said, would you be interested in doing this? And she said, you guys were just at my house. She was already a member. She was already sold. And so when we called and asked, it was such a no-brainer, and it just ballooned from there.
Yeah. And to your point, it's not like we're handing these influencers checks and they're saying something good about us, and then we never talk to them again. I mean, these influencers becoming our friends. I mean, we're doing multiple community outreach and events with them. I mean, with Jordan, I know end of August, we're doing a new Albany farmers market event with her.
It's a great farmers market.
Yeah. You going?
I didn't know about that, but
okay, I'll send you the details. We'll be passing
I do sometimes go to that farmers market. So.
Yeah. So,
and I would just add too, like, some people who don't sit in the marketing team and don't maybe see the day in and day out of what they do. They might just see posts online and not really understand, well, what is this really doing for 5-star? But I promise you this. First, it's a long game play. This is not you put an ad on TV with a QR code and get a bunch of orders in.
Sure.
This is about building a brand and building trust within a brand and utilizing it's transference of trust, right? So 20, 30, 40,000 people have put their trust in this person to help me understand the thing that you talk about. And then that trust then gets transferred to 5-star. And this person who I trust says, hey, you can trust this other company. And then we automatically get to build a little bit on that trust. And so a year from now, 2 years from now, I think this could become like a huge part of our marketing efforts. And I think we're doing it before everybody else has really thought to do it.
So, Christian, I would love to end the podcast just talking about a really...
You would love to end the podcast?
No, don't clip that, internet. I would love to finish this episode with just talking about a really special event that the company experienced, and that was our Q2 breakfast celebration. It was just such a special moment for all of us to be together. And our leader, you've said it in multiple podcasts, leadership team will make you breakfast. And you know what?
They did.
So what stood out to you about that event, and why do you think gatherings like that are important for our organization and culture?
So what stood out about the event first was just the leadership team coming together at 5:30 in the morning, being led by head chef Matt Musselman, who did a questionable job of keeping control of his team. I think he let some of his sous chefs get the better of him, but it's tough. A lot of strong personalities in that group. Shout out to Sean Moffitt and Brian Carnahan and Mo down in the Dayton market, because they really owned those grills and were sweating over them. And then in the Columbus market, we had Doug and Chris Wyckoff and Tom. Actually, Tom took control of the eggs and did a great job. So shout out to those guys. And then I think, why is it important? Listen, once in a while we got to stop and look around at what we're building and ask ourselves if everything's going well, and share some of the vision with the organization and make sure that they know what's happening. But my favorite part, and it happened better in the Columbus market because it's just set up better for it. We need to figure this out for Dayton, was we set tables up in the conference room. And I kept encouraging people to, as they were walking by with their food, I'd be like, no, you have to go in there. And I walked in, and what I saw was tables of people that don't work in the same part of the business. And one of the visions and the dreams I've had ever since we had our first ever all company meeting 3 years ago, and I saw everybody huddle in their groups, I said, at some point, I don't expect it to happen a year from now, but 3, 4, 5 years from now, we are going to enter this room and people are going to intermingle, not just HVAC guys, plumbing guys, office, but actually get to, and the more we do these events, the more people get to see each other, the more they get to know each other. Listen, out here in the parking lot, you see it, it's plumbing, but you start to see a little bit of intermingling. But then when they sat down, they just sat wherever, and then a bunch of people came together. And it wasn't like everybody was eating quietly. I mean, that room was raucous with noise and conversation and community. I mean, at the end of the day, I've said it before on this podcast. I'll say it again. I hate the term family when it comes to business. We're not a family.
Yeah.
You know, my kids, nothing they can do to get fired from the family. There's stuff you can do to get fired from 5-star. Okay. I mean, that's the reality, but we are absolutely a team and we have the opportunity to build a community. And that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah. I think even pieces of content like the podcast is important because we are intentionally bringing on people from our organization for you guys to get to know your team and get to know the people you work with in different departments you may not interact with. And that was one thing I noticed of the Columbus breakfast, at least too, is that I saw people that were in different departments. You know, I saw electricians sitting with HVAC techs and plumbers sitting with marketing people. And I sat with a table full of HVAC installers. Yeah. Those are the homies now, you know. So
I'm glad you brought it up because the reality is if we were a 10-person company all working in a pretty small room, I've worked in companies like that, you know, and if you want to get information across, you literally just, hey, everybody, come here real quick. And you say it, right? And even then, miscommunication happens.
Isn't that funny how that works?
Because we all hear what we hear. And we all come in with our own experiences and we all filter information our own way. But, you know, what I've loved about the podcast is, one, kudos to every employee who's been willing to step up because I recognize for most people, this isn't comfortable or easy, especially, you know, we don't talk about me that much. We talk about the company a lot, talking about yourself personally and putting it on the internet where, you know, you don't know who's going to listen to it. I mean, this is out for anybody.
Yeah.
I get it. But kudos to the folks who have done it. And I hope you guys understand you are helping to establish our community. I mean, I also didn't know that David Walker had 2 children, one who could drive. Like, I'm like, David Walker has a 16-year-old? I thought he was 18.
Yeah.
Like, the guy looks like he's...
Walker, I thought you were like 22.
I thought he was a young guy.
Yeah,
like, I mean, he might still be a very young guy, but I'm like, what the heck? That guy is a 16-year-old? But these are the incredible things, you know, learning about all these individuals. And even though I know them, it's like there's always some piece that I get. So highly encourage everybody to go back and check out all the episodes because they're like 10 minutes. I mean, mine are always crazy long, but the majority of them are like less than 15 minutes. So it's like you can easily listen to that on your commute in or whatever.
Yeah. I just did the Joe Buck and just looked at the camera.
Because you're like, directly, we're only 12 minutes over and started 10 minutes early.
I'm sure we're both 12 minutes late to a meeting right now.
Yeah. No, I canceled mine. I knew I'd be late.
Christian, thank you so much for just everything. And I just want to reiterate, thank you for you guys for watching, supporting the podcast, supporting this organization, for being a guest. And if you are interested in being on the Off the Clock podcast, I'd love to talk to you. Gage would love to talk to you in the Dayton market. So anything else, my friend?
Nope. I think we got it.
Awesome. Take care, guys.